didn't go. It didn't go.
Oh.
Yeah, the intro didn't go, but that's okay. I can't do
Welcome to
music off the top of my
LowcoSports
head,
Lowdown.
but this is the LowcoSports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Arraj. We're here Saturday night special 9:30 edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I'm running on fumes, boys. Started it early today, 9 a.m. with a little Bluffton Waves practice. Got after it this morning. It was good to get out on the ball field, and then great to get out to Harbor Town. It was a scorcher out there today. It was starting to get a little crispy toward the midday, and then the wind kicked up a little bit and showed a little bit of defense, but no defense for Scotty Scheffler, who surged to the lead. He's at 16 under now after an 8 under today. Got a one-shot lead over Sepp Straka, and we'll dig into it in a little more detail with some other friends who are ready to talk Heritage. We got Brady Sacha and Ned Mullis joining us to talk Heritage, and both you fellas were out at Harbor Town today. And Mullis, you got his name wrong last night. You kept calling him Schefter instead of Scheffler, but you were right about that dude. That dude was ready to start running away with this thing, and I guess the question now is whether he can do it one more time tomorrow. But I wouldn't bet against him.
He's been wearing them out for the better part of 2 months. I don't see what's going to change tomorrow.
He hasn't made a bogey since the third hole on Thursday.
Right. Correct.
It doesn't seem like he's made one since Bay Hill.
Well, yeah, right. That's what, he kind of admitted that he kind of sleepwalked through the front nine on Thursday, and remember that was the first time he was seeing it this week. I mean, obviously he's seen it before, but he didn't play it in the practice round after getting in kind of late for obvious reasons. So I think he was kind of timid around it the first time, and then I think that double bogey at 3 just kind of gave him the red ass, woke him up and snapped him out of it, and he was like, dang it, if I'm gonna be away from my pregnant wife this week, I better get it together and take this seriously, because he has been on an absolute tear since then. He didn't get to even until 16 on Thursday, but he's been unstoppable since then, and today he was just dialed in, man. I mean, his birdies were kick-ins, hit 9 inches on 15. So it was pretty impressive to watch. And he's become more fascinating to me as the week has gone on by being so ordinary. Like, he just goes about his business. He doesn't really get too hot or too cold, just kind of goes workman. Like, doesn't seem like he's there to work, to get a job done and not much else. He's not really interested in the other trappings of it, and I know that about him.
It'll be interesting to see, how the ratings go. Will he have that same push that Tiger had when he would get the ratings going?
Right.
And, there's kind of arguable that, everybody likes a villain, but how do you not like this guy?
Yep. I mean,
he just beats your ass every week with a smile.
You're really grasping at straws to find something to not like about him.
Yeah, it's that Tiger effect for sure. People grasp him and they love him, man. He's just such a relatable guy, and he is so consistent out there on the course. I mean, even kind of like spotting the field a couple shots at the start. I don't care. I'm still going to win.
Gave him a 15-hole head start before he got back to even par. But, I mean, look at his results this season. He's played 9 events. The last 4 are first, tie for second and first. And now he's first going into the final round this week. But even before that, it was tie for 10th, tie for 3rd, tie for 6th, tie for 17th, the slacker, and tie for 5th. He's been in the top 10 in 8 out of 9 events and well on his way to 9 out of 10. And, like, hearing guys talk about it this week, what blew me away is, usually when people start asking questions like, is this guy really that much better than everybody? They're usually like, no, he's just on a hot streak. But this week they're all like, yeah, it kind of seems like it, doesn't it? He looks at this week. But Wes, well, actually, Sacha, you were out there today. you got to see a little bit of Scheffler. You and I stood at 6 and 7 area. We saw the tee box behind the turlets was in use today, way back there. And then we parted ways, and you went over to check out some other stuff. But what were your thoughts from today at Harbortown? You called it early that you said either Shoffley or who else did you say? I mean, not Shoffley, Scheffler or somebody else was going to go low.
Scheffler or Rory was going to go low today.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Rory acted like he was going to, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
But Scheffler definitely did.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Good course. Course is in great shape. And it's with the no wind, it really seemed like it was going to play easy today, but there wasn't really that many low scores early until Scheffler pulled out the 63 and some other low scores came in this afternoon with the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There were some pretty decent ones early, like Alejandro Tosti shot 6 under early to get to 9. But really, I mean, if you were that far back, you were going to have to go way lower, especially with Scotty doing what he did. But yeah, a lot of 68s, 69s. But nobody could really take it deep except for Scheffler. That just seems unfair because he's the guy
actually
that
made
everybody's
some putts
chasing.
today.
Yes, he did.
He could have done the same thing the last 2 days. They just didn't go. He made a couple today.
Right.
Carlo Perusa says Brady Sacha is the LowcoSports Jim Nance. Hello, friends.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
No Nance this year. But yeah, so I hung out at 18 after my break back to the media center for refreshment, Leopold's ice cream and various sundries, and air conditioning because my goodness, it got hot out there today. But then I hung out at 18 and saw a bunch of groups come through. And man, the people love Scheffler, but they also love Sahith Theegala. They love that man. I think they just love saying Sahith, but regardless, I did see a dude in a Sahith Theegala print T-shirt today. You were with me, Sacha, when we saw that, and he had like a redneck voice. It was wild. I did not anticipate that. Not anticipate that because who did he yell at? He yelled at somebody that we were.
He yelled at Poston.
Oh yeah, go Postman! I was like, whoa, didn't expect that voice out of the guy in the Sahith T-shirt, but that's the Heritage for you. Anybody over here? Anything funny at the Heritage today? We haven't done Overheard at the Heritage yet. Did you get anything, Mullis?
Oh no,
I heard some guys yesterday who said they had more moonshine than they could snake a schnit at.
I heard
they were trying to say shake a stick at, but it didn't come out right.
I heard plenty of stuff at the Heritage today that can't go on here. I promise you.
Oh yeah, that's the truth.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I heard most of it before 6 o'clock this morning.
Well, looking at some of the other guys who are in the mix, if Scheffler somehow missteps tomorrow, which seems unlikely, Sepp Straka is holding steady. He's 1 shot back. Made a nice birdie on 18 to get within 1. And
who's in the final group?
That would be just Scheffler and Straka. The next group, Morikawa is 2 shots back, so he'll be 1 group in front of them, along with Theegala, who has been steady as a rock this week, 66, 67, 67.
And I'm telling you, Poston can putt, so Poston gets hot.
Yeah, he was hitting putts.
13.
If he starts hitting putts like he did on Thursday, he's dangerous.
But he's all over the yard.
Can the postman deliver on Sunday? I guarantee you that's what Jim Nance, he would have said something about the postman delivering on Sunday if he was calling this. Ludwig Oberg and
for a while.
Oh yeah, Ludwig Oberg and Patrick Rogers are in the group before that, and then Cantlay and Power. I actually do have Data Golf odds in a graphic format here for
Did y'all hear the story about Seamus and Rory?
Yeah, I think I told you the story.
Is it you're the one that told
Yeah,
us?
the Rory. I heard it on the broadcast that Rory, before he decided to turn pro, was committed to play at East Tennessee State, which is
Oh.
just wild to think about on its own. The hidden gems in Europe that you can recruit.
Right.
You think about like USCB recruiting these guys, you could stumble onto somebody like that.
You never know.
But then when Rory elected to turn pro and gave up his scholarship, it went to Seamus Power. So I thought that was
Really? Wow.
an interesting
look where he
tidbit.
is.
But there's your data golf odds. Scotty Scheffler is now 53% to win with a one-shot lead. So there's some
That's pretty. I'd say
serious.
it's pretty
That's
lower
nuts.
odds than I thought.
I heard the other stat of the day too today. Did you hear the thing where they said the world golf rankings? If the distance between Rory's second and Schefter's first, and the distance between them, he would be 80th.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how big of a lead he has.
Well, you know that you and I are closer to second place Wyndham Clark in the FedEx Cup points than he is to Scotty Scheffler.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord.
He is going to run away with this thing.
But we lived through this, man. Remember, we've
Yeah.
seen Tiger in his heyday.
Well,
That's true.
and I
That's
think
for
that's
sure.
what we have to consider is
You
is,
got to
like,
start thinking it.
it definitely feels like the most Tiger thing since Tiger for sure, and it's starting to rival like that thing where they just wilt on Sunday if he's there.
Right.
Well,
We'll
he
see
just
tomorrow.
It's just the fear that they have in
I've
a
just
guy
never
like that.
seen anybody hit it as close as
They
he
know
does.
that the wars are going to come, and he's going to
Yeah.
make his birdies, and that's something you rarely see. I mean,
Time
you
for
haven't seen that
Scheffler
since
Red.
Tiger. You've seen some guys have runs. I mean, there have been some players over this last decade that have made runs, but it has never been as dominant as we've seen in the
Not
prime
like
Woods
over
era.
a couple months like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
and
Yeah, dude.
It's been pretty
Tiger
incredible
putted
to
them to
start the season.
death. Tiger would make it. Did you ever see a putt that you never saw Tiger miss a putt he needed? It's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
Nicklaus. Never seen him miss a putt he needed.
Yeah.
Schefter doesn't putt like those guys, but damn, he just hits it 8 feet all day long.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he
His short-
hits it close.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
short
it is.
game's good.
3.23 strokes gained approach, absolutely
Yeah.
dominating the field. The next closest is Egal at 2.51. I mean,
And I think he leads the field in strokes gained off the tee and approach, right?
That's correct.
Probably.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be that good tee to green around here, as small as the greens are, you can't lose. Like
Right.
unless you are just an atrocious putter. But like if you're getting it
Scheffler's still
inside
better
10,
than average.
12 feet every time, you're going to make most of them.
Yeah.
Dude's unreal. I mean, he is. Just
I mean, no
an
shots.
unreal hitter.
Just think about what he did on 3, 4, 5 right through there. I mean, that shot on 4. I mean, that guy. And I don't know if y'all played that thing a lot, but damn, 4 is the hardest hole out there to me.
It's so hard, dude. It's so hard. I mean, I can't do anything but just bail out, right? Because
There's
so
no
scary.
bailout.
Well, I don't mean bail out. I mean just throw it out there to the right and then chip it up.
Hope it
Like,
stays out of that guy's yard.
Yeah, exactly. Hope I don't
Tell you
blade it.
what, I had a rude awakening when I played on Media Day one year.
Yo, it's humbling to say
Yes.
the least. But yeah,
I
he
love how
he
they
stuck
talk about it short.
close on 4.
I
Yeah,
hit
it
a
don't
ton
feel
of hydrants
short.
for a short golf course.
Yeah.
Didn't play short when I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit a 7 feet on 4. Both the par 5s on the front, he just knocked it on in 2 and 2 putted.
Well, he knocked it on
Slide it up
15
there.
too.
Yeah, he sure did. Actually, no, he was just off
But,
the
you
green.
know.
He went up over the trees, but he came up just short and it rolled back down.
Oh,
but
that's
then
right,
he
it rolled
shifted
back.
up
That
to
false
9
start.
inches and kicked it in. But 7, he was all over it too, all over the stick. Which that's a really hard hole from back there, man, with the tree protection.
Man.
9, he drove it in the bunker and got a bad lie and didn't like what he had, but chopped it out of there and then made it from 35 feet. Um, 11, he dropped it on the stick again. I mean, dude was just locked in. 15, well, that was the 9-inch kick in, and then 18, he hit another beauty to 7 feet
7, 8
and
feet.
made it.
Yeah. Dude, he
I mean,
hit
I'm just
it all
looking
day
at these
long.
results. You look back the start, or really the end of last year and then the start of this year. I mean, T6 tied for 6th, tied for 3rd, tied for 10th, 1, tied for 2nd, 1. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Absurd.
And was the
Absurd.
only guy to play, he was like the only dude that played good in the Ryder Cup.
True.
Yeah.
True.
There's
He's
also
unreal.
there's also historical factor if he wins too, because it's been I don't think it may have only happened once or twice where we've had a winner in the RBC Heritage win the Masters the week before.
Oh, I don't think it's ever
Have we
happened,
ever-
has it?
Yeah,
Have we ever had that?
I heard it today. It was Langer and
Langer, yeah,
Oh,
it was
Bernard
Bernard
Langer.
Langer.
Okay.
in
That's
Yeah,
right.
a long time
83.
ago. Oh,
1983.
it's been a while. Back in the
That's-
80s.
Yeah, that's persimmon drivers, boys.
That puts
Persimmon.
him
And
in
that's,
the-
I mean, that's a
Brady Sacha getting
a
more
lost
love.
era. That's a whole nother era compared to what we have now.
Bernard
I mean, the
Langer.
competition-
Bernard Langer's the man, by the way. That dude, he is he's unreal. Like he played for years on the senior tour after that and just absolutely dominated, but he would still come to Harbortown and contend every year. He'd be right there in the mix every time. That dude is ball of energy. Not the warmest person in the world to say the least, but that dude was incredible. Scheffler, yeah, he's unreal. Let's see. I was gonna look at something here on Scheffler. I was gonna pose the question: does he just become the ultimate legend and just quit golf after this week? Just go on paternity leave and just never come back? Like, I mean, he could.
Byron Nelson. He like Byron Nelson.
He's going to go over 60 million in career earnings if he wins this tournament. And he drives a 2015 vehicle and lives in a modest place. Like, he doesn't seem to be motivated by the traditional things that professional golfers are. And he keeps saying, what a low priority in his life golf is. Like, I really feel like it truly is just his job. And, Boo Weekly used to talk about, and he's not Boo Weekly by any means. He's not as country as Boo, but I think they're similar in the sense that, like, really they'd rather just be, off doing their thing, fishing, whatever, not really being in the spotlight at all or playing golf. And Boo always said he had a number that if he ever got there, he was going to retire. And I don't think he ever got to the number. But Scotty's got to be, if he's got a number, he's got to be getting close to it.
Yeah.
He can just ride off into the sunset and be the ultimate legend.
I heard them talking about him today. They said when he was an amateur growing up, he killed them all. Like, he won everything.
He's super competitive.
This has happened before. And, how many times in a row did he win the match play?
Right.
He won that thing 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And
he was carrying at the Ryder Cup too.
He's also said, he's like, look, I love to compete and I hate to lose. Like, I think he's just that kind of dude. He wants to be the best. He does not want to lose. And that's why I do think, like, if he gets home and he's loving dad life and he feels like he doesn't need it, I don't think he'll be compelled to run back. But on the other hand, if you're on that kind of heater and you got a chance to go win a
you know who else they said was the same
Grand
way?
Slam. Who's that?
Was family first and didn't play a huge schedule. Little guy called Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
He was all about his family first and everything too, and he did all right.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm far more intrigued by Scheffler after this week than I was before. I think just first of all, just the absolute all-timer heater he's on is like becoming historic in real time in front of us. But then also just he's just so unaffected by everything. He just I met him as I was going back to the media center tonight. He was coming out and toweling off, and had his hat kind of, on crooked. And for a second, I didn't even realize who it was. Like he just looks like every other dude out there at the golf tournament. But kind of acts that way too. And he acknowledged today in his interview too, like that he appreciated the fan support. He said that on one grandstand when he teed off, the grandstand was full. By the time they got to the green, he looked back and it was almost empty. And he was like, holy cow, like everybody's rolling with me today. And he acknowledged like how much he appreciates that, and that I know I don't always look like I'm even noticing you're there, but I do know. I think he's just so locked in and focused when he's out there on the task at hand that he just doesn't really let that stuff in. His mental toughness is next level, just unbelievable.
You touched on something earlier too that I didn't talk about it last night, but man, I don't think we understand how lucky we are to have Jonathan Wright running that golf course is amazing. I mean, It's in great shape. And this has been a hard week. I think he told me he'd been there 26 years. We were talking about it, and between being the superintendent and assistant superintendent. And he said this is by far the hottest Heritage he's ever had.
Really?
Wow.
And it's hot.
It is hot.
And that ryegrass is checking out.
Yeah, it was getting a little crispy today.
Which is good, but
it felt like that June Heritage in the COVID year.
Oh yeah, well that was.
And here's the thing, man. That's I try to explain this to all my buddies that nobody ever believes me. The transition that place makes. I mean, like let's use that COVID year for example. He had a tournament-ready golf course in August, okay, on ryegrass. And then he had a tournament-ready golf course at the end of May on Bermuda grass.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And the thing about John, and I try to explain it, it's they don't really do a whole lot special out there. That place is really good all the time. I mean, they just mow it a couple extra times a day and, roll it a little bit more than normal and clean up the pine straw. And that place is, I mean, you talk about tournament conditions a lot. It's tournament ready a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, so he is not only a great friend, he is just an unbelievable superintendent.
Yeah, he is. He's deserving of what's got to be one of the better and more rewarding superintendent jobs in America, I would think. It's a pretty dang good one.
But he's had some people come after him, and I mean, he's never, and I mean some very high
headhunters
jobs.
I would believe that. Well, I know the circles you run in. You got some buddies who do some pretty big jobs in grass.
And more than one.
You're on.
Did y'all hear the other golf news this week? The Ocean Course got the PGA again.
Yeah, I did see that.
Wow.
2031.
Yep.
Awesome.
Back to Kiowa.
When Phil Mickelson won the historic tournament a couple years back.
Wes, I would have picked everybody in that field before I got
No. That was bizarre.
That was bizarre.
It just made no sense.
It just did not make sense. I wasn't even paying attention to that tournament, and I just decided to flip it on. I'm like, Mickelson? Really? Really?
And Koepka choked. And you're like, Koepka never chokes.
That was one of the weirdest tournaments I'd ever seen, because I was like, out of all the people you could choose from on that tournament, Phil Mickelson in first.
And that's a really cool deal.
50 years old? He was 50.
You think about how we go. We go to the Heritage, and then you're less than 1 month later. All right, so you go to Masters, week later to Heritage, less than 1 week later, you're at the PGA. And they're all within an hour and a half of us.
That's going to be wild.
That's
Speaking of which, just to kind of drive home how much the Heritage has really arrived as, with the signature event status and all that stuff. AP golf writer Doug Ferguson has been here all week, and he used to sometimes pop in on Monday, Tuesday, and, get whoever was in the interview room after he was in Augusta. But then he'd hit the road for home and rest up. But he's been here all week, and there's all kinds of people out this week that haven't been here in recent years. So that's good to see. There aren't as many golf writers out there as there used to be. Man, when I first started covering this thing in 05, that media center was packed with guys from newspapers all over the country and golf writers from various magazines, and it's dwindled now, but it's good to see some bigger coverage for the event, and obviously this field makes that happen. So.
Well, we had the foreplay guys here all week.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
that's I know that's funny, but I mean they push the needle too, And
you met them, right, Brady?
Yeah, I've walked the 9th hole with them during their pro-am with Ryan Blaney and Stan Smith.
Stan Smith.
Now that's impressive.
Not a Barstool guy, but Stan Smith. Cool. I am a Stan Smith guy. Stan Smith's a legend.
Yeah. Blaney, Immaculate Heart of Mary graduate in High Point, North Carolina.
Yeah, man.
We went to the same grade school together, or not together, but we went to the same school.
Wow.
You went to the same grade school together. Oh boy. Stan's a legend. Stan connected to my all-time favorite Heritage champ, Boo Weekly, because everyone probably knows the story by now, but in case you don't, there was a classic where Boo, he won it twice in a row, and Boo was just a fish out of water around a golf course, which is hilarious because he was a professional golfer. But they told him, they introduced him Stan Smith, and somebody said, yeah, he's a U.S. Open champion. And Boo's like, what? What U.S. Open did he win? And they're like, well, the tennis U.S. Open.
Oh, gosh.
He thought somebody was pulling his leg because he's like, I heard of every U.S. Open champion. I never heard of Stan Smith. But then Stan gave him some Stan Smiths. So I would venture to guess that Boo has not rocked those Stan Smiths very often, if ever. But it's a funny thought nonetheless. But well, fellas, is everybody taking Scotty tomorrow, or is anybody bold enough to take the field?
Oh,
I think if anybody's going to run him down, it's going to be Morikawa.
Yeah, that's what I was about
I wouldn't
to say.
sleep on Oberg as a deep kind of sleeper who can get back in it.
Yeah,
because he
I agree.
Seem phased by that kind of pressure and coming from behind. I think that kind of
just played with him at Augusta last
week.
He
finally hit some loose shots today.
He did.
First
it
time
looked
I've
like
seen
he
him
was
hit
going to
anything
go
loose.
Low early.
That shot on 12, that's not a hard tee shot. And I mean, he was blocked out over there. And I mean, that was pretty loose. He hit a couple loose iron shots. And the way Scotty, he's already spotted him a couple. You ain't gonna spot that guy much. I mean, what do you think here?
Winning score?
I mean, let's say what did he shoot today? 8 under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he gets to 20. I think you got to go. I think you got to go 21 to get him.
Well, you got to think. I mean, shit, 60 or 68's even par for that guy with the par 5.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, them all.
4 under seems like a given.
Just say 3 under puts him at 19.
Right. I think you got to shoot at least 20 to get in the playoff, 21 to win.
But the weather's supposed to be. I'm surprised, Justin, that they didn't say nothing about the tee time.
Yeah, they didn't. They released the tee times, normal tee times, starting with the leaders starting at 155.
Because they're talking about the weather coming in about 5.
By the way,
and starting around 11, rain. What were you saying, Wes?
By the way, Scheffler may have a chance to catch or break the all-time scoring record, which was set. Obviously, it was in June. The Heritage I mentioned, Webb Simpson, of course, it played a little easier that year because in the summer, I mean, this
that's
is
an
being played.
asterisk for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
just like the
Yeah,
Masters. That ain't the winning score at the Masters either. The one that Dustin Johnson shot in October, that shouldn't count either.
Brian
Right.
Gay was
We all
minus
remember.
20 in 09.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought minus 20 was.
What was the one Lauren Roberts shot? That was like the first Heritage I ever went to.
Well, he shot like a 62, didn't he? In around or 61?
He shot 20 some under. He had the lowest for a long time, and Gay broke it.
Well, Gay had 20 under, you said, right, Wes?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the record in April, which is the record we will observe. The June record is a separate record. LowcoSports only observes the April Heritage record, the April Masters record. I think that's in danger, especially if the weather holds off. But you're right. What I saw looked like it actually changed a little bit, where the only chance of like thunderstorms was more toward midday, like 11 to 1. And then it was just showers after that. So I think they're hoping that they can, maybe that doesn't materialize and they can just play through it all.
Well, they don't miss on the weather very often.
They don't.
They
And
got
that's
some great meteorologists.
when they didn't hesitate to release the pairings as is. I felt a lot better about it.
If you hear on that
right.
radio, if you're around one of those tour guys and they say it's going to rain in 3 minutes, find some
It's going
cover.
to rain in 3 minutes.
I mean, to the second. I mean, that guy, their meteorologists are amazing.
Everyone start your timer. It's going to rain in 3 minutes.
Well, the whole operation is just
unbelievable.
I mean, and I think what really brought it home for me in Harbortown, it's been done there for so long, they're able to tuck a lot of stuff away and they, you don't see a lot of it. But in Congaree, when they set up the CJ Cup at Congaree and they took you in the back way and you saw all the stuff that came in, you're just like, holy cow. It's like the world's biggest traveling circus that they put up every week with all the scoreboards and that didn't even include the build out with the grandstands and stuff, which is unreal.
Oh, I love that build out. The build out's really cool now. With that, I think the thing behind one adds a lot.
Huge upgrade.
And
they have a lot more seating behind 18T than they used to have now. There's a ton more seating on 16 and 17 than there used to be.
And you know what they did? What I really like about 17, there's more seating than ever, but you can see the hole now. You can see out the hang point now and see how pretty that hole is. And, before, nobody really got a good view of that hole because they had all the stuff in behind.
Yeah.
I think
and then 18, the skyboxes on 18 are definitely way cooler and taller than they used to be too.
Hopefully, because when I was there, they were closed off.
They're open now. They're all open now, and they were pretty full today.
Yeah, I think this is part of why PGA Tour decided to make this a signature event too, is because of how they handle the tournament and how they keep improving the tournament every year. I think that was one of the reasons why the PGA Tour said, yeah, this should be a signature event. It's been a tournament on the PGA Tour for 50 plus years now. And every year they keep improving something or everything, really. And, they've improved in a big way this year, and it's showing why this is a signature event.
And don't discount RBC either. This is the best sponsor they have ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm sure they talk, they're carrying a lot of weight with the tour right now. So,
we talked about this the other night, that like at the time it seemed so weird, they're like, why is this Canadian bank going to sponsor our tournament? But man, you want to talk about a big picture vision that they had for going all in on golf sponsorship. And they're definitely seeing a lot of return on that because they've got a really great roster of players who represent them. Obviously, this tournament and the Canadian Open, and yeah, can't. I mean, that was a really, really tense time for this area because the economic impact, the impact on charitable organizations, is just tremendous. So for them to step in and keep the tournament going and then see it through to where we are now, it's in much better shape than it's ever been. So
and knock on wood, they re-up like 2 years out.
yeah,
It doesn't come down to the wire anymore.
Yeah.
And so they're obviously seeing return on their investment.
I hope so. I hope they stay with us for a long time.
And the thing with Boeing, that's a great tie-in as well.
Yeah.
That's still cool when they fly that thing over.
Well, it's also a local company too, because they have a factory up in Charleston now.
And they said that one today was completely built out of Charleston.
Yeah. I was in the media center when it went over, so I heard it and watched it on TV, which was fairly similar to what happens when you watch it in person. You hear it and watch it. So shouldn't feel too bad about it. But all right, fellas, we'll let Brady and Mullis get out of here. You guys got to be down at the golf course tomorrow, so we'll see you out there, boys.
See y'all.
See ya.
Appreciate you.
See you, man.
There's Mullis. There we go. Got too many windows in my thing here. So there's your heritage recap. I think we're all expecting Scotty to get it done tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Bob Stevens from Under the Bus actually said he thinks he's gonna choke tomorrow. So we'll see. He says the golf gods are coming for him. Says the golf gods are cruel. They're coming for him. So we'll see. I don't think so. I think he's the Terminator, but he's been reprogrammed for golf. The MVP sponsors for LowcoSports start with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. She's going to get out to the Heritage with me tomorrow. So if you see us, say hi. And especially if you want to get into the Loco real estate market, if you want to find a place in the Loco or put your place on the market and upgrade, it's a great time to get into it. So call Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she's the official realtor of LowcoSports. I think I said that about 4 times. Homegrown Home Inspections is your official home inspector. Jan Lucas is the best in the biz when it comes to making sure that you're making a great investment in your home. He's going to make sure that it was built right. And if you're building a new home, he's going to make sure it's built right every step of the way with a phased inspection at Homegrown Home Inspections. Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney, and our original sponsor since 2017. They're the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Another big win for the Eagles last night over defending Skiza 4A champ Augusta Christian. Mickelson Law Firm supporting us since the beginning. We appreciate them and hope you'll call on them for all your legal needs. And the Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, official hospice care of LowcoSports, the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County, and they provide all kinds of great services to the Lowcountry. So we hope you'll support them with your charity dollars, because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors, fellas. And we got another guest waiting for us if he's still awake. We kept him waiting a little longer than anticipated, but we do have the Stricklander and possibly Blue. My boy Blue. What's up, Stricklander? What's up, buddy? You went to bed?
Yeah, Blue is laying on the floor. He's begging me to go to bed.
So you did some leg work. We wanted to get you in because you've done some leg work on rounding up some Skiza baseball standings.
Yeah, I wish I could do the same thing for the high school league, but there's like 30 Skiza teams and a whole lot more high school teams.
Fair. Yeah, it's a lot more. But you could just do it for our regions or something like that. I could. I can't really see this very good. Let me see if I can. Yeah.
Hey, that's not my fault. It's not Notepad this time, at least.
Yeah. So we got Holly Hill and Jeff Davis. There's
Single
2 regions in 1A that don't have any teams. We're not too worried
that.
about 1A. We don't really care about 1A.
Yeah.
2A, you got Dorchester is going to win the one region or has won.
Yeah, they just won it last night.
Y'all won yours. Lee and
my question is, how does this factor into the playoffs? Because you normally have like brackets and
know?
stuff based on, because I know 3A has the 10. They've had the 10-team bracket in the past, or like 10 or 12, but then
Yeah,
some of
they
the
do
other
double elimination tournament or something.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, my
Um,
question was, how does that factor in? Is it like a committee based, like they do in other sports?
Man, I don't know. It's always a
Anybody
crapshoot.
know?
You know,
That's the question.
Yeah, right.
It's always fast and furious.
You're
You never
right.
know what they're going to do from year to year.
Yep. But yeah, thanks for helping us out with this.
Yeah, we got at least something to go off of here.
Yeah.
Here we go. This might be a little bit better. There we go. We can
Try
see that a
visually
little bit
impaired
better.
viewers.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, I mean, depending on what size screen you're watching this on. So Dorchester is going to win that region. Did y'all play them regular season?
We have not. No, the only team we
Alright.
played out of that conference was Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, and they're having a rough year. 0-17 to say the least. So yeah, Dorchester looks like they'll be maybe a bit of a problem. Calhoun and St. John's Christian are both pretty solid squads as well. Then Carleton Prep, I'm surprised their record's as bad as it is. They're not going to be an easy out in the playoffs with the arms they have. I know they don't have a lot of depth, but the front end arms are pretty
Yeah.
solid. And then it doesn't look like there's a whole lot in that other.
Yeah, I don't know
region.
how many teams they're going to take. Probably find out next week. I'll do an update.
8, yeah, I think it's 8 you have. Yeah, right. You
Can't be
have
more
the-
than 8.
the
You only
18
got
bracket.
14 to pick from. And one of them went
Yeah.
0-17.
Well, I
and
remember
one went
it's
0-11.
in 2A, you have the traditional 8-team bracket, whereas you have
Yeah.
the best of 3 series compared to the 3A where you have the double elimination tournament. So it's a little bit different the way they
Right.
format the postseason, but they'll take 8, and Patrick Henry will definitely be one of those 8, and just find a way to battle through it. And they did it
Yeah.
last year, and I'll tell you, it was quite entertaining, especially at the end. So
It's
I'm
'cause y'all left
excited.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's our fault.
Yes.
But Hilton Head Christian, they got designs on 1 and 3A. PD's
Yeah.
undefeated though, so they're gonna have something to say
Ooh.
about it.
Yeah, I
Defending
kind of want
champ.
to see who they played this year. I can't find. I got to look up their schedule, but
Use Game Changer. Actually,
I'm
PD's
sure they're on the
website.
game changer.
PD's website has all their schedules for like past 5 or 6 years. So
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's
they got
right.
this year. It's like an old-fashioned
crap.
website. I mean,
That's nice.
Well, I got them on the game changer. And they're 15-0, and they've played Carolina Academy, Marlboro Academy, Carolina Academy, Williamsburg, Florence Christian, Thomas Sumter, East Clarendon, Conway Christian, Wilson Hall, Lee, Conway Christian.
Wilson Hall's the best team on that schedule.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's true.
I don't know. It's a strong-ish schedule, I guess.
Yeah,
Wilson Hall's pretty solid.
Well, that's a
I
pretty
mean,
good
they're
team.
winning their
So
region
they'll
in
be
4.
tested
Wilson
in a
Hall's a
big
good
way.
team.
Those
Wilson
teams
Hall's a very
face
good
off
team.
potential championship
Yeah.
series.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
think
we'll see. They both got to get there, but that would be what it sort of looks like on paper. Williamsburg won't be easy to get past either. 17-3, and 2 of those losses
Hilton
were
Head
to
Prep.
PD. Right.
Don't sleep
Yeah,
on the
Prep won't-
Dolphins.
Prep won't
I'm
be
not
Chris
easy.
sleeping
Chris
on 'em.
Wells. Chris Wells is the man. He can coach. He
I ain't
puts his
sleeping on
team.
him.
He gives,
What about that Broadham region in AAA? I want to see what teams came out of that one.
Greenwood Christian won it, but Spartanburg Christian and Spartanburg Day are atrocious.
Yeah, not
Oh,
very good.
good lord. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
clean up there. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
there's not a lot of teams to play up there, so they got to play a lot of public schools.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
yeah,
Ooh,
fair.
north side.
And Northside's decent as well. So
But
um,
Palmetto Christian and Thomas Sumter are both really bad.
awful. Yeah. So not great. Having a rough season. Let's put it that way. We won't say
There
they're
you
awful.
go.
They're just having a rough season.
But I'll do an updated one after next Friday.
Still
Hopefully
developing.
practice will be out, and we'll talk about it again.
Yeah.
Right on, man. You been watching any Heritage?
Man, golf puts me to sleep.
Blues awake. Blues awake.
Yeah,
But that's
I don't know.
I'll
what
be
it is,
honest.
every
If
time I
I'm
get
watching on the
camera,
couch, I'm probably going to sleep too. But if I'm
And
watching it in
he's
person
lining
and
up
I got a camera, and that works out.
I played
a little bit
campus golf in
different.
college. Does that count?
Played what now?
Campus
campus
golf.
golf.
What's that mean?
Campus
Aim
golf.
for that
golf.
tree.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
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 I played
Yeah.
that in all my childhood.
Yeah.
I grew up on a
Sure.
farm, and I'd just go hit it to wherever. Corner of
Yeah,
the barn.
we were Presbyterian, so I think the last hole we had was the Scotsman statue or whatever. So I don't know if y'all ever been up there, but
Passed through, and I ate at a really good pizza place in Clinton.
Dempsey's.
I don't know, it was a all-you-can-eat buffet thing.
That's
Little
Dempsey's. It's
hole-in-the-wall
good
pizza
pizza.
place. It was real good.
We talking about
spent-
Clinton?
Yeah,
Clinton,
Clinton.
yeah, we spent
Yeah,
one
I've been
night
to
there
Dempsey's.
when we were playing
I
ball
love
in
Dempsey's.
Union, but it wasn't a very nice hotel, and there wasn't much to do in Clinton, so we moved to Spartanburg the next night.
I love
Yeah, there was a
Dempsey's.
year that one of the dorms, all the water went out, so all the guys had to stay at the Quality Inn. It was
Ooh.
pretty bad semester.
I can't, in good conscience, recommend the Comfort Inn in Clinton. I would recommend you go on to Spartanburg. Just go on to Spartanburg. Stay at the True by Hilton. It'll be way better, way more better. But yeah, it wasn't the greatest. But we did have a good week in Union. We won the state championship. We beat there's a good barbecue place just outside Union in Buffalo,
I was gonna say, yeah,
forget the
it's gotta be
name of it.
Buffalo.
but it's real good. But anyways, enough about that. Appreciate you, Stricklander, and keep us abreast of what's happening out at the farm. What do you got this week? Any big games on tap?
We're at Hilton Head Prep Monday, and then we
Yeah.
finish out the season with
that'll
Battery
be
Creek
fun.
at home on Wednesday and Holy Trinity away Thursday. And baseball, and then
The
soccer, we've
afternoon
got
delights.
The afternoon delight. Hilton Head Prep. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to want to drive back to Sea Pines on Monday, but if I do decide to, it'll be to go watch the Pats take on the Dolphins. That'll be a good ball game. I know they
not an
got,
NFL
they got
game.
on you pretty good out of the farm,
It's
but
an NFL game today. That's a good rivalry in the AFC
Pats
East.
and the
so,
Dolphins. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. AFC East rivalry game. I love that.
I might go check out that game actually. If I don't check out that game, I'll go watch Colin Prep play Hilton Christian.
Those are both pretty good teams playing each other. At least there's a chance you'll see some good baseball and
Yeah,
might
we'll
see a
want some
good game.
revenge from Thursday because they beat us.
You never know. Anytime you show up to a baseball game, it might be a blowout, but
Yeah.
it might be broke. So we'll see. All right, buddy. We appreciate you, Stricklander.
No problem. I'll see if I can work up some high school league stuff by next Friday too.
All right. You're the man. You're my boy,
No
Blue.
Yeah, go to
Oof,
sleep.
oof. That's Stricklander live from Estill. I think Hampton. I don't know where he lives. Out in the boonies somewhere in Hampton County. But anyway, that's the Stricklander. Let's shout out some sponsors. The varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, call on DDS Web Design at ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years, and now they're on board with us to help us shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Loco and in those counties, like the Patrick Henry Patriots. Thank you, Stricklander, for keeping us posted on what's happening out there. Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports and the presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. I'll have to dig through and see what all happened at the Reverence Iron Man today. I saw some posts on social media about it, and I know we had some big winners, but great event out there today. Great place to take your skills on the mat to the next level at Reverence Wrestling Club. And Dr. Ambrose Cole, the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness. He'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And I'm definitely going to have to go see Dr. Ambrose after walking around Harbor Town all week carrying a camera. I'm feeling a little rough today, feeling my age. But Dr. Ambrose Cole will get you feeling right at Rooted Living Wellness. Those are our varsity sponsors. Well, boys, you want to talk a little Sand Sharks? Well, first things first, I guess. Lacrosse season is over. Lucy Beckham boys took down Hilton Head 18-3. So rolling out for lacrosse season.
Hey, solid run for that Seahawk team.
Very
getting that
solid.
getting that home playoff win was huge over Waccamaw. I mean, I'll tell you, Waccamaw. I was down there on the field. That Waccamaw coach was not happy by the way his team played. They, as you say, they did not get off the bus for that game. Hilton had whomped them, but good for the Seahawks. They played a really strong game. Unfortunately, they found themselves in the other side. It's a really good Beckham team. So, getting that playoff win was big. But lacrosse, there's a very wide list of tiers. You got the cream of the crop. You got, especially on the girls' side. I think the guys' side is kind of like that too. You have some really good teams. You have some solid teams. Then you have the rest. So
the soft middle.
Yeah. But,
so tough one today for the Seahawks. So it ends in the lower state semis for them. But shifting gears to Sand Sharks, not great news there either. Baseball loses 7-0 to Flagler. Georgia College wins 3-2 over softball. That series will continue on Monday. But yeah, another tough day on the Diamonds for USCB.
Yeah, and Brandon Martin pitched a good game. They just could not, kind of like what we saw on Friday, they could not find ways to score enough runs when they needed to. And this time they were done in by a really good Flagler pitcher who just found a way to get outs. And the Sand Sharks had another base running blunder. Driscoll Sadusky, some aggressive base running, trying to score. And he was thrown out the plate, and it wasn't close. And so, and it was right after their gifted error. There was a wayward throw, and Driscoll Sadusky thought that he could take home plate, but it was not the best base running decision. I'll say that, and that kind of hurt them. And it just, they had a chance with the bases loaded, they couldn't score. It just seems very similar to what we saw on Friday, with just a couple miscues on offense, and Flagler able to find their runs. Just, they played a solid game for the most. I mean, I know it's 7-0, but it's just a couple of really missed opportunities that if you get runs in different spots, it's a completely different game, and it just didn't go their way. But give credit to Brandon Martin for how he pitched on senior day. It could have been a lot worse in terms of Flagler's output, because he came up and stranded a couple of important runners on the base paths, including giving up a leadoff triple and then keeping him right there at third with the pop-up and 2 strikeouts. So that's encouraging to see from Brandon Martin, who put together a solid line. He almost got a quality start. He went 5 2/3 with 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 102 pitches. You'll take that any day from Brandon Martin.
Yeah. Really selling out.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's disappointing, I guess.
But there is some good news. USC,
Taking lots.
They won the first one. They lost the second one 6-5. They almost brought it at the end. Now they're right now they are
1.5 back.
The Sand Sharks. They really have to win tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, it'll be a best-of-3 series for that last spot.
Well, even if they lose tomorrow, it'll still be a best-of-3 series, because
no, it won't.
No, 2 games back. And if you're right. They would have to
wait.
You're right.
Hold on.
So Sunday's game is going to be huge.
You're right. Yep. You're right.
Sunday's game is going to be massive.
Gotta win tomorrow.
I'm trying to think. If we lose tomorrow and we play a best-of-3 series, obviously we have to.
You gotta win them all. Yep.
If we do sweep, does that put us half a game or a game ahead?
No, a game ahead.
Yes.
If you lose tomorrow,
if you lose this next one tomorrow, you'll be 2 back. If you win that series, you'll be 1 back, and you won't be able to overtake them. So it's basically, I mean, it's not win or go home, but it's very close to that.
You gotta win 3 of the last 4. You got to win 3 of the last 4. That's the other way to look at it. If you don't win tomorrow, you got to win all 3.
You're down 2-1. You're down 2-1 to best of 7. Basically, is what you're going. Yeah. If you win Game 4, it's a best-of-3 series going to Game 5. That's basically.
That's right.
They need to pitch. They need to play lights out tomorrow, because if they don't against this Flagler team, it's gonna be tough. We've seen this Flagler team and the way they've played the last 2 games. I'm not confident, but I'm hopeful that we can get a win out of this and make it a much more interesting series against USC Aiken. But like we said, it's
And,
coming. It's
and
going
I'm
to come
guessing
down
they're
to that
saving
last period,
Tucker Dove for tomorrow. We didn't see him
which
today.
is the smart. It's the smart
Yeah.
move to
Yep.
put your veteran in. So I like the way they're going with this. Martin, like you said, Martin pitched a good game today. It was tough to see that, even with the good game he pitched, they still couldn't find a way to get a win. And I guess that's the frustrating side of it. But, forget this game, go to the next game, focus on that one, be ready to go, and hopefully pull out a win.
Yeah, I'm
Indeed.
pumped. I think there's going to be some, big time energy from the Sand Shark team.
Morning game too tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, 11 a.m.
game.
Will you confirm you'll be able to make it for that one?
Yes,
Baseball
sir.
for
I will be
brunch.
there.
Great. Yeah. Awesome.
The brunch
So,
game, baby.
yeah, but yeah, if we get through that quickly enough, I'll be able to head back over to Harbortown and catch the end of the Heritage. So, I mean, because that didn't move back or it didn't move forward, it kind of works out. Be able to
Good luck getting through the
potentially
traffic,
catch.
by the way.
Yeah, but hopefully people will already be there, and
That's
it won't be as
Yeah,
bad.
Hey, come
What are
on,
we talking about,
USCB. Time to
traffic?
get some of those.
Well,
time
no,
to get some of those
that's
brunch
Saturday.
bombs.
Saturday's the big day where people
Yeah,
leave the
tomorrow
island.
won't be a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Today
shouldn't
wasn't
be
even a
hopefully.
problem. I got there from my house to Harbortown in 45 minutes. It wasn't an issue.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it's not
Wow.
an issue anymore. It's really
it really
not.
isn't. They do a
It's-
great job, and just harking back to the parking situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everything. They do it in such a way that the traffic isn't that bad. And,
Yeah.
and
If that's the reason you ain't going, that's
Miracle.
not. Yeah.
Well,
It's unbelievable.
I'm like I said with this USCB team, I hate saying this because I do want to support the Sand Sharks, and I will support the Sand Sharks, but right now I'm not confident in the team. I need to see something out of them to show me that, hey, going into this series against USC Aiken next weekend, we have a chance. Like right now, what I'm watching, I just don't know if we have a chance because the 3 games that USC Aiken played against what is a really good North Georgia team, they were all pretty close.
They lost the series, but they hung with them every game, and they nearly got this last one. It was a one-run ball game.
That
you definitely have to prove a lot more.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I don't. You don't get A for effort this time of year. You got to get results, and they played a solid game. Brandon Martin pitched well. They got some base runners. At this point of the year, you got to find results and drive guys in.
We talked about that last night. You get base runners on. This is the time of the year where you should be capitalizing on those base runners. Like you should be scoring runs when you have runners in scoring position. This is the time of the year where you should be doing it by now. And this is now 2 straight games where we have had chances with runners in scoring position and we can't score runs. So I hope that it will be a different story tomorrow against Flagler, where we can get runners on base and we can capitalize on the opportunities.
By the way, another very good game from Brian Meyer. He's 5 for 8 in the series, so he's swinging a really hot bat right now.
My man,
Jeez. Big Meyer, man.
Carry on, B. Meyer. Carry him. All right, boys. Well, that was about it going on today. The big story, of course, is the Heritage. Couple more notes on the Heritage. I just opened up the PGA Tour notes package. 12th time that Scotty Scheffler has had the 54-hole lead. He is 5 for 11, which is a pretty good conversion rate.
Pretty good.
He's had 4 54-hole leads in his last 5 starts, which is just absurd.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
Yeah.
We said he was on the chair.
That just confirms it.
He's only finished worse than second once with the 54-hole lead, and that was third, and that was in 2020. So he's pretty good closing it out. Yeah, he would join Bernard Lunger as the only players to win the Masters and the RBC Heritage back-to-back weeks. Jack Nicklaus did win both events in 1975, but there was an event played in between them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because that was when it was in March, right? Tournament was
The
in March.
Wyndham Championship was separating the two, it said. So, yeah, I think that was when it was played before the Masters. Let's see. He would match his career best with 4 wins in the season, and it's April.
Oh my!
Wow.
Holy cow!
That's crazy.
Dude,
We've
the
only
way
played one
Seth
major.
is confirming what a tear he's on.
Now, Sepp Straka is, second in after 54 holes, matching his best ever. He's done it twice. He lost in a playoff once, and he won the other one. So he's good playing out of that 2-hole.
Yeah.
He's won twice on tour. Yeah, that's some notes on him. Let's see if there's anything else good in here. Yeah, nothing really standing out.
What do we think about where Morikawa's sitting? I know we've talked about how he thinks he's a bit iffy on his game right now, but where he's sitting right now, do you think he has a chance?
Well, I think 2 things. I think one is, unless Scheffler kind of takes a step back, I don't think anybody's gonna run him down. I think it's his to lose. And I'm still just a little iffy on Morikawa. He just seems a little unsure of himself, a little hesitant. He's played a great tournament. He's sitting at 14 under.
Yeah.
He's been scraping it around, but I think tomorrow, especially if Scheffler gets out and makes some birdies early and guys have to start really going for it, he's going to have to hit some shots that he probably doesn't have full confidence in, and that's a hard thing to do.
That's the other thing, because we've talked about how his game's been we think his game's been iffy as of late. The fact that he's sitting where he is just shows if he wasn't iffy, holy cow.
Well, I think probably every round he gets a little more confident and sure
I just
of
think
it.
that crazy streak, not picking up 1 bogey since the 3rd hole. I mean, when he wasn't.
Scheffler, unreal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and he said on Thursday, he was like, "Yeah, I think I was just not quite awake yet. Not quite locked in yet in that front 9." But he got mad when he made that bogey. I was reading some Scotty Scheffler facts here because I'm now interested in finding out more about Scotty Scheffler, because he doesn't share a lot personally. He just doesn't show a lot. But a couple interesting things. He grew up. He ended up growing up in Texas, but he lived in New Jersey until he was 6. His mother was high school classmates with James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano.
Really?
And he's a Springsteen fan. That checks out. He seems like a Springsteen fan. Parents borrowed money to join Royal Oaks so that he had a place to practice, and he started working with Randy Smith, who I believe is still his coach. And now he, of course, is, big dude at Royal Oaks. He played all sports growing up. He played baseball, basketball, golf, lacrosse, and football. And golf was his favorite. Basketball was his other favorite, though. It's his favorite to watch. And apparently he kind of thought about playing basketball, but in golf high school he narrowed it down to basketball and golf, and ended up going with golf. Obviously, great choice. Attended the same high school as Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford, although a different time. And he won his first PGA Tour event at the Phoenix Open on the same Sunday when Stafford won the Super Bowl with the Rams. Wild. He and his wife Meredith are high school sweethearts, which I think is wonderful. That's so cute. Of course, they're expecting at the end of the month. He obviously was a great amateur. He won the USAM, the Junior Am, to get into his first PGA Tour event when he was 17. Great player at Texas, freshman of the year, and Ben Hogan Award watch list. When he won the 2022 Masters, he was still driving the same car he had in college, a Chevy Suburban with 175,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Somebody told me the other day he's still driving like a 2015
interesting
Toyota or something, which would be amazing. I love that. He was on the 2017 Walker Cup. What a team that was. Morikawa, Zalatoris, Maverick McNeely, Cameron Champ,
Yeah.
Doug Young, Doc
Oh,
Redman.
yeah.
Whew, amazing. And he shot a 59 in 2020 at the Northern Trust.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, just some fun facts about
Quite
Scheffler.
a cool dude.
Be pretty cool to add his name to the
Yeah,
list
that's
of
a pretty.
champions
Yeah,
here.
I mean, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, really setting the tone, and I mean, most recently you've had guys like Jordan Spieth who have joined that club. Davis Love, a multiple time winner. So you've got some high, ranking names in just golf, who's who. And Scheffler, who has, as we talked about, might have been the most dominant golfer since the peak Tiger era in the 2000s. You can make that argument if he continues to play like this. That is a huge asset to have in terms of your list of past champions and someone you can continue to market and assume if he does continue to play, he will hopefully continue to come back. But what a special opportunity this is for us to witness, because there is nobody at his level in the world right now, and it's really not close. And you don't see very often when you have the feeling like this guy. I mean, there's no way he's going to lose, and it's kind of similar to what we're seeing right now with Scheffler.
It's pretty unreal. It's and obviously we only covered this tournament really, so that definitely we kind of observe it through the lens of this tournament. But I don't remember ever the guy who was the hottest player coming in and boat racing and like he has this week. Well, obviously we haven't often had the best players in the world or the best player in the world here. But it's pretty unreal to watch him up close. So here's the champs: Palmer, Golby, Irwin, 1-2. Hale Irwin, he's from Baxter Springs, Kansas, down where I grew up. Johnny Miller got 2 of them. Jack Nicklaus, Hubert Green, Doug Marsh. Were there 2 greens? 2 different greens? I don't know who the other green is. Tom Watson, Kansas City guy. Doug Toole, David Rogers, Tom Watson. Again, I guess they stopped doubling them up. Faldo got him one in 84. That's a legend. Longer, he was the last guy to go back to back. Was there no 86? Oh, yeah, there's 86. Fuzzy Zeller, 83 and 86. Davis Love, he's going to be in here a lot. Greg Norman got one. Haynes Stewart, the great,
Stewart,
1-2
yes.
back to back. Rest in peace. Davis Love got 2 more in 91 and 92. And David Edwards. Hale Irwin came back and got one in 94 in the Twilight. Bob Tway, Lauren Roberts. Nick Price, that was one of the nicest guys I ever covered at the Heritage. So nice. Davis Love got another one in 98, and don't worry, he'll be back for more. Glenn Day, Stuart Sink got his first one. Jose Caceres, Justin Leonard. Davis Love came back around for another one. Sink got a second. He'll be back too. Peter Lawnard in 2005. Aaron Baddeley. This was my first one. Aaron Baddeley. 2 Boo Weeklies in a row. Brian Gay, record-breaking performance. Jim Furyk, who was just a legend here for years. He was always in it. Snedeker, super nice guy. Carl Pedersen, that was one that kind of came out of nowhere. Graham McDowell, that was a great champ. Matt Kuchar, of course, became a fan favorite. Furyk got another one. Brendan Grace, Wesley Bryan, the only Palmetto State native to ever win the Heritage. Kodaira, he went on a tear that year. CT Pan, Webb Simpson in the June Heritage. Sink with the Twilight Tour in 2021.
And his son on the bag. Yep.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yep.
And then Spieth and Fitzpatrick, and we'll see who we add to the list tomorrow. But
some
tremendous
iconic
list
names on that list. Yeah.
Tremendous list. I mean,
Yeah.
a bunch of Hall of Famers. And there aren't a lot of like names you would rattle off across the history of golf over the past 50 years, 55 years that don't appear there. I mean, there are a few, certainly. Tiger Woods is obviously not there, and Phil Mickelson, but a lot of the who's who of major champions in particular have won here, and now we get to see the best in the world play here tomorrow. One more day. We'll see who wins it. But let's shout out our last round of sponsors. We got the Lowco Booster Club, Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives who are with Charter One Realty, and they want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. I saw the Charter One folks partying on the first fairway today. They got their little hospitality house. Revive Rehab, women's health and pelvic floor physical therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen help women get feeling right after they have a baby. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets and all kinds of other stuff at their showroom on Argent Boulevard. They can show you what they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop, if you need a haircut or just some spicy conversation and you happen to be in downtown Ridgeland, stop by Jay's or make the trip special. It's worth it. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. That's the Lowco Booster Club, fellas. Any shout outs tonight? Not really.
Yeah.
Heritage shout outs? You shouting out Heritage people? What are we doing?
I will give one. We kind of glossed over some of these finishes for USCB golf.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about the golf tonight, the USCB
So
golf. So yeah, give a shout out there.
Yeah, I will go with Ashley Mead, who is tied for sixth at 6 over par and went 1 under in today's round. So that's an excellent performance. She has been a previous champion, I believe, in some of these collegiate events, and is delivering here for USCB, who's right now currently in 4th out of 6 teams. Flagler up with the lead at 588, but USCB's just 13 shots out of 3rd place, held by Lander. But Ashley Mead doing some great, and not to be outdone, or just a little bit below her, Jessica Edwards just 1 stroke back at 7 over. She is tied for 9th. So good stuff from both those two ladies.
Top 10. Good bounce back for Ashley today, and Jennifer Larson had a nice bounce back as well. So they could pick off Lander. Max, you got a shout out?
Yeah, despite their loss, I'm gonna go Brandon Martin. A really well pitched game today. Just didn't go the team's way. 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. 102 pitches today. So a really good outing. That's a really good outing by Brandon Martin, and he's done that as of lately. He's had some real good outings as of late, and I like seeing that out of him. And obviously Brian Meyer did what a series he's had. Despite them being down 0-2 in the series, he went 2 for 4 today, going 5 for 8 so far in the series. So our dude, Big Brian Meyer, going at it, and Brandon Martin as well.
Meyer's now got a nice little 4-game hitting streak going. 9 for 16. Pretty good little stretch for B. Meyer. Yeah, Martin's outing was huge too, because he went deep enough that they only had to use a couple more arms. So they should have some guys ready to go tomorrow behind presumably Tucker Dove. So let's hope they can get that dub tomorrow and keep themselves in good shape going into next weekend. Give us something, a little drama going into next weekend. I'll go back to the golf. I'll shout out the men's golf. USCB men had a solid day. They moved out of, we talked about last night, they were in 8th, but like everybody was separated by like 17 shots or something crazy like that. They jumped over Georgia College. Beat them by 15 shots today. So they're now in 7th, but they're 1 shot out of 6th and 2 shots out of 3rd.
Right there.
Three shots out of 3rd, 13 shots out of 2nd. And honestly, 21 shots out of the lead is not out of the question. 10 shots either way is pretty reasonable. Eric Nord and Ellis Bright both tied for 11th at 1 under. Leading the way, but big bounce back. We talked about yesterday. Holm and Sirik kind of struggled, but they both bounced back big today. Sirik shot even after shooting 9 over yesterday, and then Holm shot 2 under after shooting 5 over yesterday. So those two guys really improving their score made a huge difference. Team score was down 12 shots. And if they can, throw up another one around 280 or so, then they might be able to sneak in there to, third, maybe even second. So that'd be great. Hope Coach Corey and the guys can get her done tomorrow and make a move. But a lot of golf tomorrow, fellas. We got baseball for brunch out in Hardyville. You guys will be on the call for Sand Shark Baseball at 11 a.m. on the Sand Shark Game Day Network. And then I'll be out at Harbortown, and you'll be joining me out there in the afternoon, I believe, Wes. So
yes,
we'll see them home at Harbortown, and we'll convene here. We'll aim for either 9 or 9:30.
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
Right.
Come on,
but we
Sand
might do the Sand Shark rewind before the we'll have to talk
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get that all sorted out. Keep an eye on social media. You'll find us in all the usual places.
Time for some brunch bombs by USCB. Come on, boys. We got this.
There you go. So that'll do it for tonight. We went a little over our allotment, but we got started a little early, so I guess we can live with it. Time for bed. Heritage Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks so much to Ned Mullis and Brady Sacha for jumping on to talk golf with us, and to the Stricklander, Jeffrey Strickland, for talking Patrick Henry baseball and filling us in on the skis of baseball standings, the Wild West out there. We appreciate all of our sponsors who make it all possible, and especially we appreciate you for showing up to listen or watch. We'll be back tomorrow night to talk Sand Sharks and to talk golf heritage on the Lowco Lowdown. So we'll see you tomorrow night. For Wes Kerr and Max Arraj, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.